few days ago, after finishing my Weathering with You small talk, I went looking deep into my external hard drive, not for porn, but for old videos. Because if you aren't aware, the ones available on this channel right now aren't all the ones that I have done. I had many others in my original channel, but unfortunately that channel got deleted because copyright, fair use, and my own stupidity by signing my name with my artistic name and then changing it back for no apparent reason. Anyway, so a good portion of those videos are gone. I failed to save them, but others survived. Since around 2016-17, I also started uploading stuff to VidMe, a video sharing website that is currently dead. And after YouTube killed that other channel, I decided to save as many material as I could. And now, since I am trying to create consistency in my upload schedule, like at least one video a week, more if I can, I had an idea. Since I want some of those videos back online, why don't I just do that? They aren't perfect, but I'm proud of them and want to have them available in my current channel. And so that's what I'm going to do. I'll release an older video in between newer ones I'm currently working on. And don't worry, I'll also put something in the thumbnails to identify that video as an old one. Because although I like them, the sound and image quality is far inferior to what I have now. And you don't have to watch videos I did so far back as 2016 if you don't want to. Anyway, enjoy! So, Nocturnal Animals is a movie I have mixed feelings for. It's not a bad movie by any means. After watching it once, I gave it a 7 out of 10, and I really enjoyed the movie overall. I was just disappointed with some parts of it. I heard from a lot of people I trust in that this movie was one of the best of the year, and the way it managed to combine 3 different storylines was phenomenal and impressive and amazing and blah blah blah. And when I was watching the film, the whole time I was thinking, this is it? I would hardly call it combining 3 stories into one, since only one of them is truly developed. But now, after thinking about this film time and time again, in fact I watched it last week on Wednesday, and I still haven't stopped thinking about it. I came to the conclusion that the film is much better than I gave it credit for. It still frustrates me, especially one character, but it's a much more complex and subjective film than I was expecting. If you haven't seen Nocturnal Animals yet, I suggest you watch it first and come back to this video because I'm just going to be talking spoilers and nothing else. Nocturnal Animals tells the story of a woman played by Amy Adams. She works in the art industry. I'm still not sure what she does exactly, but it's probably something that has to do with organizing events. One day she receives a book from her ex-husband, an ex-husband that I'm not sure he exists. I'll get more in depth on that later. So she reads the book, and the story of the book is extremely dark and twisted. It's about a family, the dad played by Jake Gyllenhaal, the wife played by Isla Fisher, and the daughter played by someone that Wikipedia doesn't know the name of. They were driving at night in the desert when some hillbillies in another car just start doing random shit. They basically fuck with them, speeding up, not letting them surpass them on the road, and it gets to a point where they even crash their car into the family's car. That chase ends when the hillbillies force them out of the road and both cars stand their grounds. The sequence that follows was one that made me extremely furious. Some of it has to do with the way it was directed, just filled with suspense, but most of it has to do with Jake Gyllenhaal's character in the book, Tony Hastings. This guy, he's a fucking coward. He doesn't have the strength to do anything, much less protect his family. And the most annoying thing here is that the whole time Tony was conflicted about what to do in order to protect his wife and daughter from these criminals. I was just wondering, what would Gyllenhaal's character from Nightcrawler do in this scenario? I don't know, but I would have wished if Tony was a little bit more like that guy and less like, well, Tony. It's like I have seen Jake Gyllenhaal play a fucking sociopath, a violent sociopath. Now seeing him play a weak coward is just infuriating. He's great in the role, don't get me wrong, he did a great job playing Tony. It's just that once I know how dark this guy can become, I can never truly believe him in this new character. It's just not realistic for me. But for the film's advantage, Tony is not even real. He's just a fictionalized version of Amy Adams' character's ex-husband. So it doesn't really matter since in the movie's universe he's also fictional. In the end of that sequence, the hillbillies manage to trick him and steal his car with his wife and daughter still inside. He goes with one of them in their own car to meet them, but that guy just dumps him somewhere in the desert. The following days, don't know how many exactly, he goes with the main detective, played by Michael Shannon, Detective Bobby Andis, I don't know how to say his last name, and they find his wife and daughter's body. They were both raped and killed, and the rest of the book's story is about Tony and Bobby finding these guys and arrest them. But since Bobby discovered that the lawyer who was supposed to prosecute them is afraid to take the case because he might lose, and Bobby also has cancer, the story goes on the route of vengeance. Bobby kills one of them, and Tony, by the end of the books and the film story, kills the guy played by Aaron Taylor Johnson. And after that, I think he also kills himself. I'm not sure. He was on the ground with the gun beneath his stomach, he was crawling, and then we hear a gunshot, and the book's story ends. He probably did die. The story of the book isn't particularly interesting. In fact, it's very infuriating and simple. But the story of the film and the way it was executed is very interesting. Once I told you this film combined 3 stories into one, I meant that you have 3 different storylines. The one with Amy Adams' character reading the book, the one from the book, and the one where Amy's character has flashbacks of her ex-husband. And the way the film chose to jump from story to story give the impression that they are more interconnected than just surface level. First of all, I don't know if the story of the book was what was being shown to us, or if that was just Amy Adams' character interpretation of the story. Since I believe this whole film is about her character, I'm going to assume that what we saw was what she was imagining while reading the book. After she reads the part where Tony and the detective find the body of the wife and daughter, she immediately calls her own daughter to see if she's alright. This taking place in real time and in the real world. And we get to see the daughter. Besides being naked, which is always nice, she was laying down in her bed in the exact same position that the body of the wife and daughter were found in the book. She might have just had an emotional reaction to what happened in the book and she wanted to make sure her daughter was okay, but I don't think it's that simple. There was a moment where we find out what she did to her ex-husband that presumably ended their relationship. Besides cheating on him with this guy, she also had an abortion. But this is where I'm not sure if these flashbacks are accurate or not. You see, when she first gets the book, she talks a little bit with her current husband about her ex. Besides him not remembering her ex or what she's talking about, he doesn't remember when she left him. He says 20 years ago, like he's guessing, but she corrects him and says 19. If she left Edward, that's the name of the ex, around the time she had the abortion, that means that the daughter she has now needs to be younger than 19. Which she isn't, because we get to see her naked on the bed alongside another man, probably her boyfriend or husband. So the question is, did Susan, Amy's character, really have an abortion? I don't know. And this is the thing with films like this, they make you think. And I love it. Another thing I have been wondering is if her ex-husband is real or not. Maybe the past storyline, but the current one I'm not sure. Her current husband doesn't remember him, and he never shows up in that storyline in the real world. We only see him through his fictional character, Tony, and the only evidence that he exists is the book and a few emails he sent Susan. The book could have been written by someone else, and so could the emails. And I think that the person that wrote both was Susan herself. Or maybe it was all in her head, and the book is something else. You see, I don't think Susan is all there, mentally speaking. This whole film could have been just a fiction of her imagination, her flashbacks and the book's story. But since I don't want to make more assumptions without seeing this film at least one more time, I suppose now I have another film to analyze. For now I'm giving Nocturnal Animals an 8 out of 10. Thanks for watching this video, hope you like it and see you next time. Bye bye!